Hare Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitaniya Caritamta Adi Leela, chapter 8, text 20. Hena prema Shri Chaitanya dilayatha tatha jagai madhai paryanta anyera ka katha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has freely given this love of Krishna everywhere and anywhere, even to the most fallen, such as Jagai and Madhai. What then to speak of those who are already pious and elevated? The distinction between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift to human society and the gifts of others is that whereas so-called philanthropic and humanitarian workers have given some relief to human society as far as the body is concerned, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offers the best facilities for going back home, back to Godhead with love of Godhead. So we had been reading in the previous verses that the greatest humanitarian, if we are a logician, if we like to think with logic, apply logic, we should try to apply our logic to the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and see how he is the greatest humanitarian. There are many humanitarians, people putting up some cause, and people invest a lot of time, money, energy in that cause. But the greatest humanitarian is Lord Chaitanya. Why? Because an ordinary humanitarian works simply for the comfort of the body. Only as far as the body is concerned can give some relief. But what is Lord Chaitanya giving us? The most valuable gift, the highest gift, Krishna Prema. Prema Pumartho Mahan, Bhagavatam says, the goal of life is to develop love of Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya is easily giving us this love of Krishna. If one seriously makes a comparative study of the two gifts, certainly, if he is at all sober, he will give the greatest credit to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was with this purpose that Kaviraj Goswami said the following. So if we really study, there have been great humanitarians in the society, in the history of the world, and even in current history, great humanitarians doing great work, great services, helping millions of people. People have given up their lives for others, for independence, or for some noble cause. So great people, really great people. But if we can really analyze with intelligence, the greatest is Lord Chaitanya. Because giving some bodily relief helps us only in this life. But we are not the body, we are the spirit souls. So our greatest need is to develop our love of Krishna, which is there in the heart of every living entity. Love of Krishna is very difficult to again revive back because it's been millions of births that we have forgotten Krishna. But Lord Chaitanya, without considering our qualifications, he is not considering what's our background, what kind of a character we have, what do we do. No, he's simply saying, chant Hare Krishna, take this love of Krishna. That's his mercy. So Kaviraj Goswami says, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Karaha Vichara Karile Chitte Bhabe Chamatkar. If you are indeed interested in logic and argument, kindly apply it to the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you do so, you will find it to be strikingly wonderful. Caitanya Caritamta Adi Leela, chapter 8, text 15. Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, Narottam Das Thakur is a great acharya in our line. He has given us wonderful, wonderful bhajans, wonderful kirtan. Dina Hinayata Chila Harinama Udharila Tara Sakshi Jagai Madhai. The two brothers, Jagai and Madhai, epitomize the sinful population of this age of Kali. So 500 years ago, there was these two brothers, Jagai and Madhai. They were most disturbing elements in society. Why? Because they were meat eaters, drunkards, woman hunters, rogues, and thieves. Now we may say, oh yeah, but that this meat eaters, drunkards, woman hunters, rogues, and thieves, it describes almost all of the population currently. So we can see what is the current affairs of the society. This is the age of Kali after all. We are living in the age of Kali. So 500 years ago, it was only Jagai and Madai, two people. Here now, we are all Jagai and Madais. We are so many Jagai and Madais now, currently. Yet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered them to say nothing of others who were sober, pious, devoted, and conscientious. So Lord Chaitanya, out of his mercy, he's giving love of Krishna to Jagai and Madai. So of course he will give us this mercy also, because he came to deliver us, Patita Pavana. He is the deliverer of the most fallen. We are the most fallen. There was I forget which devotee sings that, Lord Chaitanya, you came to deliver the fallen. I'm the most fallen. So I deserve your mercy the most. So one time one devotee was telling Srila Prabhupada that I'm the most something. Srila Prabhupada said, you're the most nothing. He was trying to say I'm the most fallen or something. You see, we like to be the best at everything. So, okay, fallen, so I want to be the best at the fallen then. I'll be the most fallen. And Srila Prabhupada said, you're the most nothing, So we are like that. We can't pretend. But yes, we are fallen. We want to receive the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We can plead to him for his mercy. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that to say nothing of the Brahmanically qualified devotees and Raja Rishis, Kim Punar Brahmana Punya Bhakta Raja Rishyas Tatha. Anyone who by the association of a pure devotee comes to Krishna consciousness becomes eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. So this is the mercy of the pure devotee. The mercy of the pure devotee that he can deliver the entire world. Srila Prabhupada would say, I just need one moon. I don't want so many stars. Because he knew that one moon can change the entire situation of the world, can give love of Krishna to everyone, can give Krishna consciousness to everyone. We can see how by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we are sitting here today and reading Caitaniya Caritamta. So what we are reading in the books, it is true because we are seeing practically the devotees performing such feats to give. Like Srila Prabhupada, he's giving us the eligibility to go back home, back to Godhead. He's giving us Krishna consciousness. Of course, we feel that we are not eligible. We are not, because it needs so much degree of purity. But we can simply plead to Srila Prabhupada, please bring me back home, back to Godhead. And he's kind. He said, I have the key to the back door. You catch hold of my dhoti and I will take you. So that's what we can do. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.32, the Lord thus declares, Mamhi partha vyapashritya ye apisyu papayonayah striyo veshyas tatha shudras te api yanti param gatim. O son of Pratha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, and Shudras, workers, can attain the supreme destination. So Lord Krishna is saying, irrespective of who we are, what's our birth, what's our gender, what's our qualification, anyone who takes shelter of Krishna can go back home, back to Godhead. Spiritual life, devotional service is not dependent on anything material. No, because it's on the spiritual platform. So nothing material can stop it. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered the two fallen brothers, Jagai and Madhai. But the entire world is presently full of Jagais and Madhais. Or, in other words, woman hunters, meat eaters, gamblers, thieves, and other rogues who create all kinds of disturbances in society. The activities of such persons have now become common practices. It is no longer considered abominable to be a drunkard, woman hunter, meat eater, thief, or rogue, for these elements have been assimilated by human society. So 500 years ago, it was like Jagai and Madhai became very famous because they had these qualities. But Prabhupada is pointing out to us currently the entire society is like this. That does not mean, however, that the abominable qualities of such persons will help free human society from the clutches of Maya. Rather, they will entangle humanity more and more in the reactions of the stringent laws of material nature. What happens when we indulge in unrestricted sense gratification? We completely forget that, oh, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. Let me try to get out of this material world. Instead, we get more and more attached to the body, more and more attached to sense gratification, further and further away from the reality. And then we get the reactions. Whatever actions we do, then we get the suffering for it. One's activities are all performed under the influence of the modes of material nature. Prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvashaha. Because people are now associating with the modes of ignorance, tamoguna, and to some extent passion, rajoguna, with no trace of goodness, sattvagun. They are becoming increasingly greedy and lusty, for that is the effect of associating with these modes. So predominantly, we are all in the mode of ignorance. So we have to gradually raise ourselves. We have to come to the point of goodness, Prabhupada would say, so that we can transcend the mode of goodness and come to the Shuddha Sattva platform. So by hearing and chanting helps. Hearing and chanting, it helps us to give up the lower modes, helps us to give up our attachment to passion and ignorance, brings us to goodness. We continue hearing and chanting, and it will help us to transcend the mode of goodness even. Tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayaschaye. By associating with the two lower qualities of material nature, one becomes lusty and greedy. Bhagavatam 1-19. So when we are associating with modes of passion and ignorance, or people who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, our lust and our greed increases. We already have a lot of it. Then it becomes more and more. Actually, in modern human society, everyone is greedy and lusty. And therefore, the only means for deliverance is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement, which can promote all the Jagais and Madhais to the topmost position of Sattvagun, Brahmanical culture. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtana movement, hearing and chanting, giving the Krishna consciousness to everyone, going out and distributing the holy name to everyone. We chant ourselves and we encourage others to chant. That will help us. That will elevate our consciousness, bring us to the point of goodness. Brahmanical culture. We can try it. It's a science. It's not only in theory that we are reading it, but it can be practically applied. If we practically apply, we start chanting the holy name, we will see gradually how we can get free from the mode of ignorance and passion, at least to a certain degree. We can see some change at least. And if we really take shelter, if we try to chant well. Hearing and chanting helps. So we'll stop here for today. Are there any questions or comments? No, then we'll stop here. Thank you so much for listening and enjoying it. Caitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare